to the Speak Up Erika podcast. And today my guest is Carlos. Woo! Hi, Carlos.
Hello, my name is Carlos.
Hey, Carlos, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Carlos, may you please share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I am currently studying geography and aviation at the University of Waterloo. Still trying to get my commercial pilot license, but in the meantime, I work at Starbucks, love to climb, and it's spontaneous, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot you love to climb because the gyms have been closed for so long.
Yeah. I forgot how to climb too.
You don't remember how to belay?
No, I do.
So, Carlos, before we get into our topic today, is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so my first fun question is, if you were a crayon, what color would you be?
That's very biased though. Like I'm gonna say orange just because
like your favorite color.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose my favorite color. Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you don't think you would choose a color that's not your favorite color? I guess I would. Yeah, That's true.
I don't know. There's something about sunsets and like the orangey skies that get to me, so that's why I would always pick orange.
Is that your favorite color?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I don't wear it.
Yeah, I've never seen you in orange ever.
It's too bright for me.
But you just love it.
I love it, yeah.
And then, describe your ideal date.
Ooh,
I know you.
Like,
you know it.
I know it, but then I don't know it. You know, because it's like sometimes I don't know. Ideal date.
I know you have so many specifics on the person you look for.
Yeah, I have so many specifics.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have any specifics on the date.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
That's a very interesting. Yeah, like when that question comes up, I'm like, I actually really don't know.
So, okay. Well, I guess if you're going on a first date, what would you want to do?
Ooh.
I still don't know.
Yo, man. I honestly don't know, but I would depend on how I would communicate with that person. So, like, if we were obsessing over, let's say, like restaurants or like other parks or bars, I would ideally choose some sort of that mixture.
Right. So, like, whatever your topics of discussion was beforehand.
Yeah, and what we could like chat about, or what we would laugh about, or what we want to visit is where I would take them.
Interesting. Okay, so it would really just depend on the person then.
Yeah, it would really
what the ideal date is.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a specific one exact date.
No, because I like to tailor my interests with theirs.
Wow. Okay, that's true. I mean that would make sense because if someone doesn't like roller coasters, why would you ever?
Hey, let's go to the amusement park.
Why would you take? I get nauseous.
It's coming on. I'm scared.
Alright.
Okay.
So Carlos, so the topic that I wanted to chat about with you today is about since it is Pride Month and you do identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community. I do want to chat about that and chat about what it's like, I guess, being identified as also being happy all the time. Right, yeah. So I guess we'll start from being queer. May you share with us, if it's okay, like your coming out story? Yeah.
I feel like when there was no single point in time where I had to come out. Like obviously I had to come out, but there was no single time where I can think it's like, oh yeah, that's where I came out.
Huh.
Yeah. It was more so like a journey of like me realizing it on my own. So as a child, I've always known this fact about myself. It was like, oh yeah, I'm not into girls, blah, blah, blah. I knew that since grade 1. For reasons I don't know how, but I just did. Yeah. But, I knew since I was grade 1. I think my mom kind of knew beforehand.
Before you were in grade 1?
Yeah, I think she knew when I was like,
JK?
When we first moved into, probably in JK.
Wow, yeah.
she'd always ask me who I'd like, but then the questions got specific every year. So it would be like, oh, blah, blah, like, who did you like? Oh, who do you like now in JK? And then, like, went to SK, it's like, oh, like, does any, like, oh, who do you like? Like, do you have a girlfriend? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, no. And then grade 1 came, and it's like, oh, who do you like? It's okay if you like guys, blah, blah. Like, and that came into more of a specific every year. And then I think the last time she asked me that question was in grade 5. I think it was grade 5. I'm not gonna lie. Grade 5 or grade 6, and when she was like, it's okay, we have gay in the family. And I didn't like the way that was said. It's just like, it's like, okay, like, but I felt more inclined to kind of say no immediately because of like our religious background and like everyone in the Philippines, everywhere I like look in like in media, they'd be kind of shamed at, made fun of, insulted. So of course I would be more inclined to say no, even if it was my own family.
Yeah.
So in high school, I knew someone. This was around like the time when I was in grade 11.
Okay.
So I met someone in one of my classes. I was more so inclined to always reject anything kind of LGBT just because it's probably internalized homophobia from like my back, like from where I'm staying at, from like where I see, like from what I witnessed from media, movies, and all that jazz. But what she said in one of my classes just struck me the most. It was just like, oh, I hate ignorant people, blah, blah, blah. Like, you should always give people the chance to live, let them be free. Like, what are they doing to you? What negative, like, what about them loving each other makes you so angry? So I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, now I know, like, she'd be like kind of a safe person I could reveal my secret to, or reveal what I'm like struggling to come to terms with. Later on, like, she moved. So I was just like, oh, great, I lost that opportunity to tell someone. But luckily, we stayed in contact on Instagram. And despite her being on other sides of the world, well, it's not other side of the world. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know.
She moved. I forgot what we were talking about.
You're coming out.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, when grade 12 came, I was certain that I liked this guy at the time. And I didn't know how to tell anyone. And plus, I was, like, low-key struggling not to tell anyone. So I was just like, okay, if I could tell this one person, maybe a bit of that stress and anxiety would just disappear.
Yeah.
So I ended up messaging my friend, the one that moved. And I asked her to Skype. So when we Skyped, I was literally the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in my room and telling her, I have to tell you something. And like everything felt like it was just like graying out, and I could only focus on her face. And I was just like, I don't know why there was a huge fear with like, okay, the moment you tell someone, you're like, it could go both ways. She could either support you, or she could either like cut you off, and like that's from where it ends.
Yeah.
And like it sucks because like you always have to mentally prepare yourself, no matter how great that person. Like no matter how great that person is to you, it could literally just be gone from this one fact. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
So when I told her, I didn't tell her straight like directly. I just told her, I'm green and yellow. And I was just like, can you take the first letters of each word? And then she's like, D. Like, and is a word, yo. And then she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah. And then she was all smiles and happy. And like, I saw happy tears coming. She's like, I'm so happy. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, that literally took so much effort from like me even telling one person. Like, that was through a screen. That wasn't even in person. So I was like, imagine how anxiety inducing that experience would be. So after that, I felt more free in a fact. So in a way, after that experience, I felt confident enough to tell more and more people. So gradually I told some of my friends here and there. And then when I told the majority of my friends, they were also supportive. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love them all. I still love them to this day, even though like most of, like now our group of friends have changed, and like we're probably like we all drifted of course with university and all life aspirations. I still am very grateful to have them in my life. One I think before the school year ended, I ended up admitting to the person that I liked, my crush. So be it. Weirdly enough, after I told him that information, I just felt like it disappeared. You know, those
Like
feelings.
the crush.
Literally disappeared. I felt like
Interesting, yeah.
And then when people ask me, it's like, oh, like, what the heck, did you even really like him? I'm like, I think it was more so me coming to terms with who I am, and then like I've accepted the fact that I could like you, but then thinking about it, I'm like, I didn't really like you. Maybe I like the idea of having someone on my side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
oh, yeah.
And then
thank you, Carlos.
I think that's where, and then with my family, when the coming up with my family,
that's a completely different.
Oh my god, that was a completely different story. I felt like now there was a lot more to lose because a friend, like, you don't really live with them, but with the family, you kind of have to.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially in high school, like right from the get go, like, yo, if I could like move out, I probably would have.
Yeah.
But I prepared any like necessary things I had to do. I did pack my stuff, which was honestly, in reality, it is sad. Like, you have to prepare that you have to pack your stuff and leave. So prior to me coming out to even bid like any of my family, I had my clothes ready to pack from my friend's house. Yeah. I ended up telling my brother first. Honestly, the best experience. I kind of it was looking back, it was just so dumb. My goodness, but it was just like I told him.
I could hear him.
Like, yeah, I could literally hear his voice, and I was like, okay. But I'm so grateful. Like, how I came out to him was pretty nice. He was very chill about it. When I told him, he was like, so I can't talk to you about who I like anymore. And I'm like, obviously you can still talk to me. I have my own opinions too. Yeah. It's not like, oh, yeah, girls is like the death of me. Don't even
like cooties.
Yeah, I was like, the heck? I have my own opinion. And it's like, okay, I like it. Thank you. It's like, yeah, just be you, bro. I love you, man. Aww. Who else are you gonna tell? And then I was like, okay, this like when I spoke to him, like we probably walked for an hour, and then when I got home, my sister was like, damn, like, you guys are so close. And I can see, like, that jealousness in my sister's eyes. Yeah. So I was like, oh, crap. Yeah. Then I'm like, I had to tell my sister, but I didn't tell her maybe for another week or so, because I felt like she already knew. Yeah. And, like, I confirmed that fact when I told her. Right. Yeah. So when we walked, like, it was a week Zoom, like, a week ahead. Like, just Zoom into a week. Yeah, right? Yeah. My sister was like, "Oh, what did you talk to
Renzo about?"
Yeah, I can just
It's your
It's like, what can you talk to Renzo about? I was like, "Oh yeah, like who I like," and then my sister's like, "Oh, who do you like now?" And I was like, "Well, like I never really like we're never really close to this. Like we never like." I think my brother and I were only close just because of our age difference. Like it was a 1 year age difference, whereas my sister it's like a 7 year age difference.
Yeah.
So it's like very we butt heads a lot just because it's like, oh, like you always pretend to know more. I was like, no, I really don't. Like just don't bother me kind of thing. Yeah. My sister asked, it's like, oh, who do you like? And then I was the type like, oh, guess. And then my sister immediately asked if it was my brother's friend. And then obviously I was like, oh, she knows that I'm not straight. And then I was like, wow, why did you assume him? I'm like, what the heck? So when I was just like, okay, so you already know. And she's like, yeah, I knew since like you were like grade 4. Yeah. And grade 3. So it's like, wow, like I don't understand why I was so stressed about it. Even like thinking back, I was like, if I came out right now, I feel like they would hate me, you know? Like if I was a kid and like they would kind of force a way to find a change is what I was thinking as a kid. Just like everything like was just going on. Yeah. And like the whole religion's like, oh, it's an automatic pass to hell. I'm like, yo, I did not want to go to hell. So literally I remember in grade it was so stuck in my head that in grade 4, I remember I don't know when we got our communion. Was it grade 2, grade 4?
Grade 2.
Yeah, grade 2. I remember in grade 3, I asked for Bibles for my birthday because I thought it would be like, if you had the most Bibles, you would get to heaven, no matter if you were gay or not. Yeah, so in grade 3 and grade 4, I had so many Bibles. I was just like, maybe it's time not to get any more Bibles and get something that you actually need. So, yeah, but it was just like, I don't understand why it was so stressful. I'm like, I guess I just needed time for me to realize that.
Yes, yeah. But, yeah.
And then...
Sorry, go ahead, yeah.
No, sorry. What was your next?
I was just going to say, like, growing up, you don't have these kinds of conversations of, like, it's okay to be gay. Like, growing up in school, like, they never teach about different sexualities or genders, right? And I think that can be part of the reason why you have people have difficulty accepting or being comfortable about who they are,
Mm-hmm.
because they're so used to being raised at how they are that they
Mm-hmm.
don't know what other things are,
Mm-hmm.
who they could be,
Yeah.
if that makes sense at
Mhm.
all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to a family friend's house, and then I believe they had like a guest that wasn't straight, and they were obviously like showing that they weren't straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was out, and then I remember asking a few questions after like the whole get together.
Mm-hmm.
Came home and I asked my mom, it's like, oh, blah, blah, like, what does he do? What do they like do? And it's like, oh, like, don't worry, like, he's just living his life, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I'm like, okay, like, is he married? He's like, oh, no. I'm like, okay, like, what, did he find someone? He's like, oh, no, he's gay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like, if it's fine. He's just like, yeah, blah, blah, it's fine for, like, for them kind of thing. It's just like, what do you mean for them? Like, if I was, like, what would the case be?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I told my parents, more so, like, them finding out, I think my mom already knew. She just wanted me to kind of tell her,
Mm-hmm.
but she had to find out from overhearing, and I guess that kind of broke her heart. She's like, I'd rather want you to tell me yourself rather than me having to find out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My dad was kind of a different one, where like I knew he was like the type to like accept, but from hearing his comments, I think he would have been the very, very, very last person to come out to. I'd come out to everyone else, but like I feel like he would be the very last one.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, especially when people can voice their dislike
Yeah.
against the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he found out, literally the same time as my mom,
Yeah.
I think he went into the washroom and cried.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, so it was just like it was just like, wow, I could even disappoint him even more, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was just like that was kind of hard to get used to, but I think in a couple months he was starting to accept, obviously not fully, because like the questions be like, oh, like why don't you try having a girlfriend? And I'm like, I did and don't like it. It would literally be all the time, despite me already being in kind of in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think after 3 years after I told them, those questions disappeared. And out of the blue, maybe like it was me telling my mom's like, oh, yo, can you tell dad to stop asking me these questions? Because they're really annoying and like really disheartening. Like I just know already that he doesn't fully 100% accept it. And like, I do get it. It is hard, especially knowing if it's your kid.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, why is it so easy for someone to accept other people being gay, but not your own blood?
Yeah.
So that one hit. That one took a while, but now like I feel like I could tell him anything.
Mm-hmm.
It took my dad, I think, around 3-4 years to fully accept it. I didn't know that they would tell my extended family.
Oh.
I just told my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So bit by bit, I told my cousins, or I let them find out themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty obvious. I didn't want to hide it anymore. But when my relationship ended, I felt like other people were saying, oh, like the gayness probably ended, you know? And it's like, oh, great. Like more and more I would hear kind of like, oh, you can like, oh, are you dating anyone? Blah, 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 girlfriend and all that. You know, those questions that you get from like extended family. Like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? It's like, no, oh my God. Like, I thought you already knew. Like,
I'm gay.
I thought my parents already told you.
Yeah.
And then just from that experience, I thought, great, like I have to come out all over again because I think they may have forgotten. So when I wanted to tell them straight up in person, my parents were kind of hesitant.
Because they're your elders.
Yeah, because they're my elders, and then like you have to respect them, and like maybe they have different opinions, and if it went bad, like what you just created an awkward situation, you know? And it's like, you know what, like I hate this. I hate this whole hiding thing.
Yeah.
So when I went to Pride, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and all those stories, damn, all of them, I love you all, literally the best experience I could ever had, and so much confidence they gave me. I literally had to make that post, therefore on Instagram, literally, so I don't have to come out ever again. Like it's there and flat out there. And for some of my family members who didn't know, they found out. So it's like, as long as I don't have to tell you, or as long as my parents don't have to tell you, it's there.
Yeah.
You know, either they have to like get on board or they're not on board. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's like going back to you coming out to Laura saying you're green and yellow.
Yeah,
that's how you came out to me as well.
I did.
And
yeah.
I don't like thinking about it. I don't even know if I had like, oh, I think I was just like, oh, okay. Thank you. Like, I don't even know what my reaction was. Do you remember what?
I remember yours is pretty easy going. Like, literally what you just reacted was exactly it. I was like, oh, okay, thank God. I always had to mentally prepare that like no one's gonna accept me, kind of thing.
Yeah. Carlos. Yeah, I'll always accept you for who you are.
Stop.
I'm tearing up right now. But yeah, that's funny that because when you're saying that your friend was like, what does that even mean, green and yellow? And I remember me thinking about green and yellow, and I was like, what does that colors? What do they mix? like
what does green and yellow mix?
A lighter green and yellow. Like I never. But then it made sense afterwards. And then going back to you saying that you had to come out to your elders made me think about so I'm dating Carlos's cousin, and when me, Carlos, and Matt, we're all hanging out with each other, and Matt's dad, so Carlos's uncle, thought that me and Carlos were boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was like, Matt's dad was like, is that who's Erika? Is that Carlos's girlfriend? Blah blah blah. And you saying that just now is kind of like funny, I guess. You can say that you're saying that because this literally happened like 2 years ago. Yeah. Right? So, yeah.
I feel like sometimes people need a reminder, but
yeah.
I find like sexuality is also so fluid, you know? I was certain that I was like, okay, I only like men and men only.
Yeah.
All the way throughout life.
Yeah.
But around second or third year university is when I kind of like, maybe I don't. Because then I started gradually getting feelings for my other friends at university. And I was certain that maybe I'm not just gay. So coming like now I think about it, with all the experiences that I've had, can confidently say that I am just queer.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to part 1 of Being Queer featuring Carlos.
Check out next week's episode for part 2. Erika and Carlos dead. Dead.
Thank you, Carlos. Bye.